Okay, good morning, everybody. How's it going? My name's Tucker Gumber. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am the founder of Free for All Fitness. So Free for All Fitness is a live online workout platform. We do things a little differently. Our mission is to bring fitness to people of all income levels. So we actually make our classes free. And at the end of class, you can tip if you're financially able. So the mission behind all of that is just to really make fitness easy right from your own home with live instructors. And today we're really excited to lead a class for you. Now, before we bring our awesome instructor, Laura, on, I want to let everyone know we do have a corporate wellness account. And what this does is it lets employers empower their employees to get into great shape. So we offer private classes that you can use as team building, and then you can reward people for going through our public classes. So every month you could say, if you do 6 workouts, you get lunch. If you do 10, you get $100, like whatever you want to do. So hit me up if that's interesting. Jenny, go ahead and bring on Laura and Gabby for me, please. Okay. Awesome. So Laura, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Laura. I am one of the Free for All coaches. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been a personal trainer for about 10 years and was really excited to get an opportunity to work with Tucker and Free for All. I absolutely love fitness. Like I said, I've been an athlete my whole life, coach for 10 years. And it's been a really great opportunity to help people train right in the comfort of their own home and office. So thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited. So, and Gabby's going to go through the workout with us. She's one of our testimonials. Gabby, what do you think of Free for All and the workouts?
As someone who has, just worked out casually my whole life, usually going to the gym, I can 100% say that having the workouts at home with a personal trainer really makes the biggest difference. One, definitely in this, environment with what's happening in the world right now. And 2, it's just a fantastic workout that you really wouldn't have, that I personally never would have gotten on my own. So thanks for having this available.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and show everyone the real beauty of Free for All Fitness. You are a costume change away from being ready to work out. So Laura, are you ready to take us through a 20-minute workout here?
I am ready.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to change the camera angle. There it goes.
Such a quick change.
And everyone, normally we do have music available because we're using Zoom, so that's not available now. But just know for our workouts we normally do. But Laura, you're on, and everybody join with us.
All right, so I've programmed a program that I think is going to be great for people that are sitting at a desk all day. So I want to really focus on ways that we can strengthen our body after we're sitting all day, different muscle groups that you guys should be working on to become more proficient in your everyday lives. So we're all going to start just standing up nice and tall. I want you all to draw your belly button in towards your spine. So nice and tight through your core. And we're going to take a couple of big reverse arm circles as you start to just breathe in and out. So as we sit at a desk all day, we know that we're sitting and we're crouched forward at our computer, and that really tightens all of our front chest muscles, and it is, as a result, really loosens out our back muscles. So let's start to go forward with those arm swings. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to open up the chest here today, and then same thing with our quads. Our quads get really tight from sitting, so we're going to open those up as well. Go ahead and take that right arm, swing it up and over your head, and then alternate with your left. Just really mobilizing through the shoulders. I'm going to try to keep us up on our feet for as long as possible today as well, so that if you're working from your office or you want to get a little workout in, it's not like you have to be on the ground at all. Moving in the transverse plane here, guys, bring your arms up to your shoulders and then tighten that core as you rock side to side here. So just kind of waking up the entire body from the top down. Making sure that you're feeling tight through that core, using your obliques to rock side to side. And then when you guys are ready, I want you all to take a soft bend through those knees and drive your butt back, hinge towards the ground. and then take a big stretch towards the ceiling. So there we go. Feel like you're sticking your butt back towards the wall. Stand it on up, squeeze your glutes at the top, and then reset right back down, keeping that back nice and flat as you hinge. Perfect, nice, Gabby. Feeling like we're reaching up towards the ceiling. Good, and on that next rep, guys, we're just gonna widen our stance about shoulder distance apart, reach those arms forward, we're gonna squat down, and then stand it right back up. Now, everyone's mobility is a little bit different here, so what we wanna focus on is, again, those hips coming back, and the knees staying behind the front of your toes. So some people may be a little bit less low. Some people might be able to get a little bit deeper into the squat. Wherever your mobility allows, just focusing on some good controlled breathing as we come down and drive back up. Let's go 2 more of those. Good, guys. On your next rep, let's go some hip opening circles. So like you're jumping up and over a fence, I want you to draw your right knee in towards your body and then to the side. And we're just gonna work on that right side. So really holding stability again, tight through that core as you draw in and out. Beautiful. The mobility has gotten so much better. I've been working with Tucker and Gabby now for, gosh, 3 months, and just seeing the difference in your movement patterns, guys, moving to the left on this next leg. It's been great to see. This is just like really awesome and fun to watch people progress through their movements. We got one more thing to warm us up here. On your next rep, let's take it right into some jumping jacks. About 20 seconds here, guys, and then we'll get into the main circuit. Good, we got 10 seconds to go here. Perfect, control that breathing down to 4, 3, 2, and 1, rest. All right, everyone, so we're gonna go 2 different circuits today. Our first circuit is going to be a mobility and kind of muscle correction circuit. We're gonna go 30 seconds of each of the following exercises with about a 5-second break. So we're gonna roll pretty quickly through, but again, focusing on really good form through all of our movements, all right? First movement is going to be a forward stepping lunge with an overhead reach, all right? So we're gonna step all the way forward, dropping that back knee. As you stand back, or as you come down, you're gonna reach up, let those shoulders roll down and back, and then reset by bringing the arms down, all right? If you're not lunging, option 2, go into a front bend with a straight leg for your back leg. So we always have modifications for you guys. For the second movement, we're gonna hit those hamstrings and glutes. So I want everyone to put their hands behind their head, keeping that back nice and flat. We're gonna go into a hinge like we did in the warm-up, and then 1 squat. So we're alternating between those hamstrings and then the squat down low, all right? Exercise 3, we're gonna go lateral squats. So everyone's gonna widen their stance. You're gonna draw those hips down to the side and stand, and then alternating side to side. So just opening up those hips in a different direction. And our final movement, guys, for this first circuit, 2 options. So again, if you're working at a desk, you can go a plank against your desk. We're gonna hold nice and high, and then you're tapping side to side shoulder taps. If you wanna work from the ground, same rules apply, down to your plank, shoulder taps from the ground to make it a little more challenging, all right? Every 30 seconds, we're gonna switch here, guys, starting with those forward stepping lunges and overhead raises. All right, Gabby and Tucker, here we go, moving in 3, 2, and 1, let's go. Big forward stepping lunge, draw it in through your belly button. Breathe in as you come down, big exhale to raise. Good, and it's that mindful raise here, guys. So feeling like those shoulder blades are squeezing together, reaching up like you're gonna tap onto the ceiling. 10 seconds here, beautiful. Focusing on getting that back knee all the way down. We got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1, rest. All right, guys, going into your hinges. So 1 hinge forward, stand and squat. In 2, 1, let's go. Good, so that hinge, we keep those arms pulled back to keep the back nice and flat. And then as we stand for that squat, chest stays nice and high, keeping that gaze forward. Perfect, nice, Gabby, good job keeping that slight bend. That's gonna turn those hamstrings on here, guys. Good, deep breath in and out. 5 seconds to go on this one. Good, we got 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, widen those stances for our lateral squats. So nice and wide. 2, 1, hinge to the side, stand it up. So the chest is gonna come a little bit lower as you go into these lateral squats from the side. I want you guys to feel like, again, you're sitting back into a chair, standing up and then resetting down. So we're really greasing up those hips right now. We got 10 seconds here. Beautiful. And then that core is what's helping you bring your body back upright, down to 3, 2, and 1. Good, guys. All right, going into that plank with your shoulder taps. You can also go up against a wall if you don't want to come completely to the ground. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Good. So again, if you want to hold that table, if you're working at a desk, alternating side to side, the focus here is that we're keeping the core tight and not letting our hips shift from side to side. That's perfect, Gabby. Nice control. Good, Tucker. Feeling like you're rolling those shoulders back. So we don't want to hinge forward with the shoulders, but everything pulls back. Engaging through that posterior chain here. We got 3, 2, and 1. All right, guys. Second time through for this mobility circuit. 2 of 2. We're going back to our forward stepping lunges. Moving in 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, so now our bodies know what to do. I want you to take that big stretch all the way up, tight through your core. We're feeling like you're driving off of that front leg, all right? So that weight comes into your heels and then really press back up, stand, alternating legs. Nice, good. Good, so that stability comes from our core. Nice big reach. We got 10 seconds here. Great, guys, good job. Nice, good job with the breath, Gabby. 3, 2, and 1. All right, going back to that hinge into your squat. So a mobility movement here. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So now we're warm. We're starting to feel good. Play around with that positioning of your move. Maybe we get a little bit lower into that squat. Really feel like you're squeezing your butt to raise it on up. And then keeping that back nice and flat. Everything pulls together as you come into your squat and your hinge here. Good. That lift, guys, we're really feeling like the core is what's driving us straight up from that hinge position. Down to 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, moving into your lateral squats. Set that stance a little bit wider. 2, 1, hinge down, stand it up. Good, so we're driving off of that outside, the outer upper area of our glutes. It's our glute med. It's a little bit of a smaller muscle, but still really important to be working for that full functional fitness. 10 seconds to go here, guys. Nice and even on both sides. Making sure the weight stays in your heels. Beautiful, nice, Tucker, good. We got 3, 2, and 1. Good, all right, coming down to the ground for those plank shoulder taps. All right, last one for this first circuit. We got 3, 2, and 1. Ready, go. So if you've taken any of my classes before, you know that I'm a big fan of cardio movement. This first circuit is really about slow, controlled moves, trying to target each of the biggest of our muscle groups so that we're really getting ready for the workout and we're training our bodies to move proficiently. So it's a little bit of a slower pace in terms of our moves, but still challenging different body parts as we go. We got 5 seconds here. Beautiful, Gabby. Nice job with the hips. 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, guys. Grab some water, shake it out. Now we're going to get into the good stuff, all right? So I've added a little bit more of a strength and metabolic component to this next circuit to get you guys going, get you in and out, feeling good, like you burned some calories and you're ready to go. So we're still going to go 30 seconds apiece for each of these moves. 4 movements, all right? Your first move is going to be an inchworm walkout to a push-up, all right? So you're going to drop your hands down to the ground, feet are shoulder width apart. You're going to walk all the way out to that plank position. There we go, 1 push-up, and then you're walking right back up, all right? If you are not working from the ground, same rules apply. You can go right here from a tabletop position and then just work a push-up. You can walk your hands up, tap your toes, stand, and then reset right back into that plank, all right? So always working those modifications. Your second movement, guys, is going to be lateral bounds, so we start to get the heart rates up. So you're gonna start off to the left. As you jump, you're gonna land on that outside leg, soft landing with that knee, moving side to side. It's a quicker movement, all right? Catching and holding through that core. From there, we're gonna go a reverse lunge with a twist. So we're gonna bring those arms up, step back with your right leg, twist towards the left. Step back with your left, twist towards the right. We're just engaging through a different plane of motion there. And then our last movement is gonna be a pulsing squat jump ladder, all right? So we're gonna come down, 1 pulse, jump. Down, 2 pulses, jump. Then we add 3 pulses. So every time you come down, you're adding a pulse. If you're not jumping, just standing or coming up onto your toes works perfectly fine. All right, here we go. Heart rate's coming up on this one, starting with those inchworm walkouts, or if you want to just do push-ups, that's fine too. Here we go, guys. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. So the part of the inchworm walkout, the important part of this is that we're really turning on the hamstrings. Our leg muscles get tight as we sit in the chair, in our chairs, desk chairs every day. So we're just adding some mobility and some flexibility to a strength movement. So take your time, trying to keep your heels on the ground as long as you can as you walk out, which is really going to lengthen those muscles. Nice, good. Core stays tight as you press up. Perfect, Tucker. 2, 1, and rest. Good job, guys. All right, now we go into our more heart rate move, those lateral bounds side to side. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good, so this is where we start to get that heart rate up, absorbing into that squat. Side to side, catch yourself, hold tight through your core. That's it, good, yes. Playing around with the distance. Maybe you can jump a little bit further or sink a little bit lower. Just feel your body and move what's comfortable for you. 10 seconds, nice work, everyone. Good, Gabby, nice hold. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, quick little shakeout. Bring those arms up to your shoulder level for your reverse lunge and twisting towards the leg that's forward. 2, 1, ready, go. All right, so take your time on this one. As you step back, hold that stability, take your twist, and then stand. Perfect, Tucker. Yep, that's great. Drop back, tight through your core, and then stand. So the point of keeping the arms high is to force that chest up, shoulders back. Focusing on that good posture that sometimes we lose when we're sitting in front of our phones or our computers. 5 seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. All right, now to my favorite move, the squat jump ladder. All right, so we're pulsing at the bottom. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. We come down for 1 pulse. Add that jump. 2 pulses. And then jump. 3, 2, 1, and jump. Good. So you're adding a pulse on every single ladder. So we're just adding a little bit of that isometric hold, getting deep into those muscles. You count on your own. Great way to challenge yourself. Maybe you get a little bit higher, or you add an extra pulse, moving a little bit quicker. Perfect. Focusing on a nice external rotation through those knees. 2, 1, and rest. Good job, guys. All right, going into round 2. Looking good, guys. Here we go. 5 seconds, inchworm walkouts to a push-up. We got 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Keeping those legs nice and straight. And as we push up, shoulders pull back for that push-up to engage through the posterior chain as well as your chest. Yeah, there we go. Good. Now, as you guys press up from that push-up, as we start to fatigue, I want you to think about tightening through your core and squeezing your butt as you lift so that the core and your entire body stays in that perfect plank. 3, 2, 1. All right, up to your feet. Couple deep breaths. Going into those lateral bounds. We're picking up that pace here. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Focus on the breathing, guys. We're catching. Soft bend through that outside knee and then moving on from there. So thinking like an athlete, thinking about movements that are going to help you be move better throughout your normal day. We got 10 seconds. Good. Single-sided moves are things that we typically leave out of our workouts because, quite frankly, they're annoying, but they're really helpful for stability, balance, and everything that you need to be functional within your activities. 2, 1, rest. Good job, guys. All right, now we hit the core and some stability with those reverse lunges and your twists. 3, 2, and 1. So arms up, take that twist. We hold tight through the core. So that midline is what's determining your strength and your stability through this movement. We challenge it by moving forward and backward with the legs while twisting through your torso. So it's a little bit of that mind-muscle connection. We got 10 seconds here. Great job, guys. Good, focusing on the breath. Nice, Tucker. 3, 2, and 1. All right, that pulse squat jump ladder. So maybe we try to get deeper into the pulses on this round. 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. So as we come down, guys, focusing on driving those knees slightly out to the side so that we're never bowing in, all right? We're creating that space between the knees so that we're really getting strength through the glutes, hamstrings, and obviously our quads, which I'm sure are burning a little bit on these pulses. 10 seconds, stay low, chest is high. Yeah, Gabby, nice. Absorb right back into that squat. Awesome. 5 seconds, guys. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, 12 seconds. I'm going to give you an extra 2 because I'm feeling nice. All right, we're going into round 3, and this is our best round. All right, grab some water. Here's where we challenge ourselves. We're starting with the inchworm walkouts. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Ready, go. This round is where we leave it all out there, okay? One more shot at each movement. Let's go. Controlling the move on the walkout part. Those legs stay as straight as you can keep them, reaching your heels back towards the ground as you lift. Core is tight. That push-up is a full body movement. 10 seconds. Try to get 1 to 2 more in. There we go. Nice. Good. We got 3, 2, and 1. Rest. All right, guys. Quick, deep breath. Shake it out. Moving to those lateral bounds. Getting functional in those side-to-side movements. 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Good. So as you're jumping, I want you to land, absorb into that squat, hold your stability, and then jump to the other side. Nice. There you go, Gabby. Perfect. Good hold. Yes, Tucker. Good. Chest stays nice and high. Yes. What's up, guys? 10 seconds. Here we go. Focus on the core. Last 5 seconds. We got 3, 2, and 1. Rest. All right. All right, guys. So let's try to get that back knee a little bit lower on this last round for our reverse lunges. All right. Focusing on the absorbing into the move a little bit more. Arms up. 2, 1. We step back. Take that twist. That knee should be 1 to 2 inches off the ground. Tight through the core as you twist. So we're not throwing our arms, all right? It's really those obliques. Think about like a Russian twist as you're turning side to side. Yeah, nice. Good, good, good. That's it. Arms stay up, forcing those shoulders back. We got 10 seconds here. Doing a great job, guys. Down to 3, 2, and 1. Rest. All right, shake those legs out. Deep breath. You got 30 seconds. The pulsing squat jumps. Moving in 3, 2, and 1. Ready, go. Pulsing squat jumps. We come down for 1 and jump. Absorb into that squat. Sink back down. Drive it up. Maybe we try to get a little bit higher on the jumps. Sink back down. Chest is high. Yes. As you land, weight comes back into your heels. You're over halfway, guys. 10 seconds to go. Good. We got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Nice job, guys. Good work.
Awesome. I think that's, time-wise, I think that's perfect. Thanks so much, Laura. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, no problem. Great to have you guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
And everybody, that was just a little example of free-for-all fitness. It's literally from your home. We offer multiple classes a day. The more people that join, the more classes we're going to offer and the more instructors we get to bring on. And definitely hit me up about corporate packages, because what a great way to encourage your employees to be in shape than to offer them private classes like this and then reward them for doing the public ones. So hit me up, and I'm excited to see the rest of the day. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the San Marcos region, the heart of the innovation corridor. If you were with us yesterday, welcome back. We talked total health for entrepreneurs, and today Our program is all about getting body fit. And as you were there this morning, Tucker and his crew with Fitness for All did a wonderful job to get us started. Tomorrow, day 3, we will explore Get Mentally Fit and mental wellness. And on our final day, we'll cover Get Business Fit and resources to ensure your business is on the right track to meet its full potential. My name is Ted Groholske, and I will be your host today. I'm a business solutions consultant with Workforce Solutions Rural Capital Area, covering the greater San Marcos area with Hayes, Caldwell, and Blanco counties. We provide support for those employment needs of those employers in that area. We have a wonderful program starting our keynote delivered by Dr. Melinda Villagran of Texas State University. Before we bring on Dr. V, I want to be sure you all know about the scavenger hunt we are conducting that will lead to prizes at the end of the week. Check the chat to view today's scavenger hunt assignment. Dr. Melinda Villagran received her PhD from the University of Oklahoma in Health and Organizational Communication and was recently appointed to direct the Translational Health Research Initiative at Texas State University. She is the principal investigator on 2 federally funded research programs investigating the relationships among communication, substance use, and sexual health risk behaviors. She has authored 2 books and over 65 peer-reviewed publications on communication topics. She has been quoted as a communication expert in numerous regional and national media outlets, including the Washington Post, the Washington Examiner, the AARP Magazine, bilingual edition, ABC News, and the Wisconsin Law Review. Her work has been funded by Department of Defense, CDC, the Department of Homeland Security, Merck Pharmaceutical, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, and several other funding agencies. Dr. B. We can't hear you.
Are we good?
Yes, we can hear you now. Good morning.
So good. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be here. This is really exciting for me because, to be honest, to be a researcher requires you to have a very entrepreneurial spirit and to be able to think about things in ways that other people don't think about them, because research is the process of creating new ideas. And so today, as I was thinking about this talk, I was thinking about what it is to have a fit body and have a fit entrepreneurial experience, to be a strong leader, to be a strong business person, to be a strong entrepreneur, and to have a strong body. And the thing that I thought of first was the metaphors. We think about, a horse race and being, as strong as an ox or a bull or things like that, where strength really matters. And in entrepreneurship, it really is true that strength and fit body are similar in many ways to what it is to be a successful entrepreneur. So I'm going to kind of talk about that today. And I'm going to try one more time to share my screen. Are we shared? Yikes. Okay. For some reason, it's not sharing. That's okay. We'll just go with what we have. Okay, so fit bodies and fit entrepreneurs. What do those things bring to mind? Well, for me, I love the movie Rocky. And I think about Rocky, and Rocky comes from, very little, but he has an idea that he is going to be the best at what he does. And I think that that is also true for entrepreneurs. Oftentimes, you think of the eye of the tiger and you think of, how do I become the best at what I do? How do I position myself in a space where no one else is to be successful? And there's several characteristics that people have in common when you think about fit bodies and successful entrepreneurs. One of those is endurance. So to have endurance means that you don't start out too fast, that you find your pace, and that you move in a way that allows you to maximize your success, not just at the beginning when the ideas are coming and you're excited about what you're doing, but to see it through to the end, all the way to the place where we evaluate our work and where we make sure that we have that continuous process monitoring to be successful. Strength requires you to maximize your outcomes with as little effort as possible. So in other words, when you're really strong and you have a strong body, that's great, but you have to be able to use that body in ways that create efficiencies and that create success. So you want to optimize every single opportunity that comes your way. You don't want to be, a bull in a china shop and break things, but you do want to make sure that you can move fast enough to get in front of your competitors, to get in front of your market, to get in front of the needs of your customers so that you can identify those. And strength does not have to be something like brute strength. When you think about the ecosystem of the San Marcos area and what it brings to entrepreneurs, you can think about strong relationships. So strength can come in many forms. And like a fit body, a very successful entrepreneur has those strong relationships to be able to optimize opportunities and to be able to maximize outcomes that are related to having the right pace and the right endurance and the right strength. Agility is something that is really also something that we have to have for a fit body and also for a strength in entrepreneurship. I'm sorry, I'm checking the chat. I'm getting chat that okay, let's see. Okay, great. So another thing that's really important is the idea that you have to be adaptable. So when you are thinking about a body has to maintain homeostasis, meaning it has to have that steady state. And that steady state comes from responding to your environment, making sure that whatever's happening around you is being accounted for, both internally and externally. So that means that you have the ability to take that strength and take that endurance to go the extra mile, but also adapt it as you go along and making sure that whatever happens on the inside of your company, on the inside of your idea, is going to be something that is reflected outwardly in a positive way that helps you to build those supportive relationships. One of the things I love about San Marcos, which many people call San Marvelous, is that there is such a great ecosystem of support structures. And agility allows you to take advantage of those support structures and those relationships. I direct the Translational Health Research Initiative, which is now a center at Texas State University. And our goal is to reach out to make sure that our research is asking the right questions, that we're working with partners, both public and private, to develop new products, new ideas, new ways of doing things. In my case, specifically to solve health. Health is an issue that we've learned very well is directly tied to our economic development and vitality. And so having a healthy workforce means having a workforce that is strong, that has endurance, that has agility, that has quickness, and is able to respond to whatever comes our way. Now, I don't think anybody ever planned for a pandemic, but I do think that planning for the unknown is something that successful entrepreneurs do. Just like our bodies, when they're fit, they're able to adapt and to make the corrections that are necessary if we get really hot or if we, feel really weak or we need sleep Those things really, really matter. And so as an entrepreneur as well, it is always going to be to your benefit to be fit and ready. Now, during the pandemic, I know, like me, some of you might feel some days it's really kind of tough to get out of bed because we thrive on the relationships that help us do our jobs well. But, sitting behind a computer screen doesn't mean that you have to be unfit. It just means that you have to be agile enough to plan and schedule ways to maximize your fitness and maximize your business opportunity. So agility also includes the ability to work quickly, adapt quickly, and do different things at different times as they're needed. Another thing that a fit body and a successful entrepreneur have in common is balance. Now, this is a really big one because this is the one that gets left out all too often. If you have balance, then you have the ability to let go of fear. Like many people, when I have a lot going on, when I have a lot of ideas in my head and I'm developing a new research project and I'm looking for new research funding and I'm building partnerships, that's all really excited. And oftentimes I forget to sleep. And forgetting to sleep is often related to this idea of not being able to let go of fear, because I wake up in the night and I think, oh man, there's something else I need to do. And I get really excited about it. And I get up and I get on my computer and I write things and I take notes. And that is in some ways really, really unhealthy, because sleep means having balance in your life to not only think about your body, your mind, and your business objectives, but doing it in a way that is the right thing at the right time. Balance is not too much of anything, but just the right amount of everything. And when we have that balance, then we're able to maintain our daytime and our night, our sleep and our fitness. And during the day, we can schedule to create not only great opportunities to build relationships and build businesses and create new ideas, but also to keep ourselves healthy and keep our bodies ready so that we can have that endurance and strength that we're going to need to be successful. So letting go of fear means saying, you know what, I got this. This is something that I can do. And in the process of being an entrepreneur, you have to be a little bit fearless. And being strong also requires you to let go of your fears, to go ahead and get a good night's sleep. Find that balance in your work and in your life. All of a sudden, this term work life has taken on a new kind of idea because we all work from home more than ever. And we're sitting behind screens more than ever. But if we're doing that in ways that make us physically unhealthy, then we are perhaps putting in jeopardy our success as a businessman or a business person or an entrepreneur who's ready to go out and meet new clients, create new companies, create new businesses that solve needs in the market space. The market space is changing and the world around us is evolving in a way that is creating all kinds of opportunities. So when you really, really are ready to take on new opportunities and meet the needs of clients, you have to be able to find that balance that lets you let go of fear, but be ready and be at your best so that you can do everything possible, but that you also know your limits. I don't know about you, but I've been to the gym before where I haven't gone for a long time, and then all of a sudden I go and I'm very excited and I do everything 6 times. What happens? The next day, well, I can barely get out of bed. You're very sore and you're very tired and you think, oh yeah, why did I do that? And you never want to do that again. So having the ability to be strong and have endurance, have agility and balance means that you use your best assets, your strength, when they're going to give you the maximum benefit. And you use endurance to figure out when those times might be. Not just all at the beginning. Don't go out the gate too fast. Go out with a very measured pace so that you can finish the race in a way that is strong as well. And then I have to say, it's really important in this time, and I know that this is about fit and strong bodies, but our bodies and our minds are very connected. And so the mental agility to put down the computer, to put down the screen, to step away and walk, or to exercise, or to go out, or to call and make an appointment for, a trainer. I mean, in San Marcos, there are a million great opportunities for fitness, not only in our gyms and in a lot of really good and healthy restaurants, but also in our environment. I mean, we have great parks. I love to just go for a quick hike. In between meetings, you can do that now. Our schedules are a little bit more flexible, which means that we have the ability to take control of our bodies and our businesses simultaneously. And that's a really, really great thing. So if you're thinking about the idea of fitness and strength, you want to be sure to consider not only oh, well, I will work out later. I will have a strong body later after I get my company going. But instead, thinking about it in terms of, I'm going to do everything I can right now to be ready, like Rocky, to train, to make sure that I have a good team, to make sure that I know what resources are around me that I can use. Rocky used the steps that lead up to the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia for his training mechanism. Sometimes you can think about things that are really, maybe not what everyone else has thought of, that are assets that you can take advantage of to be strong and to be ready. I think that the main thing that I really believe can be tricky when you're an entrepreneur or when you're a researcher like me who loves their work is stepping away from your work to create that balance. Because in your lives, if you have a really strong home life and you have a really strong body, you're going to be much more likely to have a really, really strong idea, a really, really strong company, and you're going to be able to take advantage of the ecosystem of relationships in San Marcos and our community that can help you as an entrepreneur to be successful. So those are some things that you might want to think about. The eye of the tiger for us means an ecosystem for fit bodies and fit entrepreneurs, mutually supportive relationships where ideas and resources are shared to create winning companies, winning ideas, winning entrepreneurs, and successful businesses that will create new needs and new opportunities in our community. Thanks. I believe we're going to go to a fireside chat.
Thank you, Dr. Villagran. It's amazing to think that communications, social media, and other forms of media have such an impact on the sexual behaviors and overall health risk in our country. Dr. Villagran will now be joined by Dr. Victor Guerrero, a primary care physician with Baylor Scott White, BUTA, providing preventive wellness, management of chronic conditions, and urgent care services. He attended medical school at the University of Texas Health Science Center in San Antonio and completed his residency in family medicine in Corpus Christi. Dr. Guerrero likes to emphasize exercise, nutrition, well-being, and good sleep as important foundations for better health. Welcome, Dr. Guerrero.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hello, Dr. Guerrero. Nice to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Good to be here.
I'm wondering
Can y'all
if
hear
you've
me?
really thought about the relationship between, all of the things that we just heard that you do as a specialty and things that you're passionate about related to fit bodies. If those things in your mind as an individual, do they impact your ability to be successful in your job? And if so, how?
Absolutely. I was a little late joining in, but in reference to good, healthy lifestyle recommendations, we all know that sleep, exercise, an excellent state of mental health are important for well-being. Diet is also very important. And we've heard this over and over through the media, but there is no easy answer for improving one's well-being. You gotta do the work. Great athletes, great business people, it just doesn't come easy. They gotta work at it. So you gotta work at your exercise. You gotta work at following a diet. You gotta work at getting sleep. Get your sleep on time. Talking to a person if you're feeling anxious or depressed. Those are also very important things to do. So it's back to the basics and the fundamentals of well-being.
Yeah. So of all those, if I had to put you on the spot, what's one that you think is the most important?
I would say sleep. If you get your sleep right, you wake up rested, your body function, you're not going to be lagging, you're not going to be slow, you're going to be motivated. So I would put that the foremost, most important thing for one's health. And many studies have been done. I'm a general family medicine doctor, but many studies have shown that when we sleep, we're actually undergoing a restorative process. There's free radicals being repaired and all kinds of other healing processes and resetting going on. So I think starting off your day with a good amount of sleep, restful sleep, quality sleep is the most important thing.
I totally agree. I don't know if it's healthy or not, but I have some of my best ideas when I'm sleeping. And I actually keep a notebook by my bed because I wake up and I write things down. So research is a little bit like being an entrepreneur, as you know, coming up with new ideas and new ways of doing things, and then asking really important questions and finding those answers is something that if you have a passion for what you do, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're a researcher or whether you are a clinician, you know that often you wake up in the middle of the night and you think, oh man, I gotta, that's what I gotta do, or this is the way I can make that better, or this is the way I can explain this to this patient so that they'll understand, or whatever. And so, our passion is sometimes our worst enemy, I think, because we don't get enough sleep. But you're right that having endurance, I talk about endurance and strength and agility and all these characteristics that make you strong, they also make you successful if you do them well.
Absolutely. The greatest athletes, they get their rest in. They get specialists in sleep, specialists in nutrition, specialists in exercise. So the better you can fine tune all these categories, the more likely you're gonna increase your odds of success.
Yeah. So I think about, it's silly, but the metaphor for me of Rocky, the movie, but not the second or third one, only the first one. I really like the first one. So Rocky, coming from nothing and starting, and then the whole, view of him riding up the stairs and being strong and being successful and working with a team. This
Absolutely.
is partly about an ecosystem in this area, and you're in Cuba, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. And yeah, absolutely. Teamwork is critical. I mean, everyone is equally important. We all have our purposes, and very essential. Absolutely.
Right. So working, in the idea of being fit and having a strong body and being a successful entrepreneur, are there any things as a physician that you would recommend that somebody can do just on a daily basis that might be easier to do than harder if you can't step away from your computer? If you have to kind of engage all the time, because people are letting that go because we're in front of Zoom and whatever channel more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we start off with good sleep, but the other recommendations of exercise. I mean, I talk to patients all day long, dealing with anxiety with work, depression, not getting out, the lack of social connections with it, this COVID era. But when you exercise, you're actually improving your good endorphins. You're improving the ratios of neurotransmitters in your brain, the good stuff, serotonin, dopamine. You don't always have to turn to medicines for anxiety or depression. The exercise alone and meditation or prayer have all been shown to improve one's well-being. And when they do biofeedback studies, blood pressure improves, pulse improves. So lots of benefits, not only starting with sleep, but also getting the exercise in, and then also eat.
Yeah, diet, definitely. I once was talking to someone from the National Institutes of Health, and he said, we have all these pharmaceuticals and we have these institutes that study diseases. But if we just had two institutes, the Institute of Eat Right and Move More, that could do a lot for us in terms of just the basic idea that what you put in your body and the way that you move your body makes you stronger, not only just to, lift weights, but to live life and to be successful and to have, the right mindset and to have the ability. I mean, it takes endurance to get through a whole day online, especially now with meeting after meeting after meeting. And sometimes you just go, wow, I've really got to work out my body and my mind and make sure that I'm ready for this. But that's not always easy to do. So moving more and eating right are very simple things, correct? Oh, I think you muted yourself. Yeah. Oh, we lost your we lost your audio. Oh boy. Sorry. Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Hi. I think we lost audio. Dr.
Maybe while we wait for that technical issue to be resolved, I would throw maybe a couple questions at you, Dr. V, if that's okay.
Sure.
And so one question I would have is, so based on listening to you guys and having a gut idea, I know sometimes we throw cliches out there, but one I always think about is the cliche, everything in moderation. Does that still hold true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, a lot of things that are really good. I mean, I like ice cream. It's great. But if I eat a lot of ice cream, it's not great. All things in moderation is that works for, you know, what Dr. Guerrero was talking about in terms of sleep and in terms of fitness. It also works in terms of, for entrepreneurs, it's difficult, I think, sometimes to set aside a project, you know, because it's what keeps you up at night. It's what you think about when you wake up. It's why you can't take a lunch break. It's why you maybe, you know, go, you know, eat fast food or do things that could be more healthy. But we do a lot of things to save time, to focus on that big idea that we're working on. But in doing that, we're really maybe setting ourselves back, because all things in moderation just means let's have balance. And we all know that balance is really, really important for fit bodies and fit entrepreneurs.
That's true. And I've always felt too that nobody will take better care of you than you. So it's our responsibility to schedule that time. And I know that it's probably safe to say, as your health goes, so your business goes. So if you're not doing those things in moderation or taking care, planning to eat correctly or eat right or exercise, there's a time and a place for all that stuff. Do we have Dr. Guerrero back?
Oh,
No, we're still muted there.
I would say, you know, the pandemic has done nothing if not told us that you have to be ready for the unknown. And in this case, of course, you know, obviously nobody could have planned for this, but when you are healthy, that means that you're going to be the most agile and most able to adapt to whatever comes your way. And when you're kind of slow and sluggish, you might not be as responsive as you need to be in the business environment where you're working. So being really strong means being healthy and being agile enough to adapt to the marketplace and be able to adapt to the circumstances in your community and in this case, in the world.
Mm-hmm. You know, you had mentioned one thing about the pandemic, and one of the questions I might ask is, it seems that we always want to label nations, countries, states on where they rank. So where do you think our nation might be heading with respect to our overall health?
Do we have volume on Dr.? Do you have volume? Oh,
no,
gosh.
Not yet.
No.
Oh. Hello? No, we still can't hear you, Doctor.
No volume. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, where do I think we're headed? Boy, that's a $64,000 question, right? I think that we collectively are taking very seriously the things that we need to do. But again, you know, we talked about balance, and the trick for obviously the business industries that are really impacted by the pandemic is to find the balance between being economically viable and maintaining your business and your company, while at the same time maintaining the health of yourself and your workforce. And so that's a perfect example of where we're having to kind of really tweak to find the balance that we need to be successful, because obviously there is no crystal ball that tells us when this crazy is going to be over. But along the way, we can't, you know, lose our businesses. We can't lose our ability to launch new products and have new ideas. So maybe the fact that we're kind of stalled on some things gives people a moment to really do more strategic planning and more strategic thinking about what's going to happen, to get us out of this. And then what happens when things return, because I do believe they will. It's just going to be a long process. And that long process has to, allow us to continue doing our work along the way so that we're ready for whatever tomorrow looks like, because I don't think anybody really knows.
No, and we don't. And even though we all hope for some form of normalcy to come back, we don't know if it will and in what capacity. And so I would be curious as well to know, is in your line of study and in your field, what technologies or advances besides the telehealth do you see coming that we should be aware of or looking out for?
Oh, thank you for asking this question. At Texas State, we have a lot of research. So I direct the Translational Health Research Center, which really just means we're taking research and bringing it to reality, that we're making sure that there's a direct connection between the work we do and the people we serve. So when you talk about technology, you're talking about things like digital technology, talking about wearables and sensors, people being empowered to take care of their own health, because we now have the ability to quantify everything we do. I have a daughter that's a quantitative fanatic, and she'll tell me, well, I slept this many minutes and I got this score on my exam. And she tries to find these relationships between, how do I optimize my fitness? How do I optimize my sleep, my health, my diet to do really well at school? And I mean, I applaud her because I don't have that kind of discipline. I'm not going to lie. But the technology that's available to us now is something that really empowers people to take charge of their health, because you have the ability to see what raises your blood pressure. When eating something or not sleeping actually impacts you in a way where you go, wow, I don't feel good today. And you can really take stock by measuring things yourself. So wearables is one technology for sure. All kinds of wearables. Do we have do we have volume?
I hope so.
Yay! Dr. G is back. Welcome back.
Now, obviously, are you engaged? You're doing telehealth now? Telehealth visits?
Absolutely. Baylor Scott White, we've embraced telehealth, and we're doing lots of infectious disease visits, as well as situations where patients are having difficulty getting to the office. It's been a huge benefit to patients as well as to us. Very protective for all involved. So yes, that's one of the benefits of modern medicine and advancements in technology.
But do you like it when people I could either be a good patient or your worst nightmare? I'll ask you. I show up with data, because I have the ability to wear sensors and to use my Apple Watch to track things myself. And so when I go to a telehealth visit, I try to maximize the amount of time by bringing data with me, so that when they say, how are you feeling? I go, well, here, look at this, this is my blood pressure. This is everything. I have it ready to go.
Yeah, well, we utilize that very much so, in terms of high blood pressure, in terms of monitoring glucose and diabetics. So yes, it helps us tremendously when we can't be there in person and get numbers ourselves. Very helpful.
Yeah. So my husband actually recently had a stroke, and he had a wearable that measured his heart rate, heart rhythm, heart everything, and it sent it for 30 days up into the cloud, so that instead of the physician trying to figure out what was happening in his body with one test, they had 30 days worth of data to see everything that was happening, and it was being uploaded on a daily basis. And so they tracked it. So then when you go into the appointment, it's just like, wow, the technology has already done a lot of the heavy lifting to help physicians really do what they're trained to do, which is to look at the data and to understand it, and then to diagnose you in a way that's going to be the most accurate that I think has ever been possible. This technology really helps, but it doesn't answer the questions that physicians are able to answer.
Absolutely, I agree.
What kinds of technology are you using in your practice often, besides just the telehealth portal?
Well, we deal a lot with diabetes here in Texas, and we have endocrinology available. And what we're also using are glucose sensors that are continuously checking the blood sugar, not just with a random finger stick, but continuously checking it and transmitting that data to the doctors and staff here so that we're able to see fluctuations if a patient is very sick or under stress and their sugars are in. We know about it quicker, and we can make adjustments to insulin or whatever medications they're taking at the time. So it gives us, quicker ability to respond to medical issues.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes all the difference because you go in, sometimes you get a test and it's point in time. My blood pressure goes up every time I have to go to the doctor because I'm stressed out. Traffic to get there, it's an awesome city. So my blood pressure's high, but then when I can show, I take my blood pressure every night because it's easy to do now. We have that technology in our homes, in our pockets sometimes, and so I can create a better picture of me than that one take your blood pressure in the clinic. Because every time they go, whoa, it's getting high. I'm like, yeah, but that's because I'm seeing you. No offense, but I come into the clinic and it stresses me out. The process of getting there and everything just kind of makes it more elevated. But on a day-to-day basis, it's not. And so technology is allowing us to see things from a longer perspective, right? And it's allowing us to see things that, physicians can't be the eyes and ears of everybody. They're in the clinic, typically busy, seeing patients, and these kind of technology tools that we have are just ways to provide information. Another one I think that's really important is electronic medical records. Have you used those to change the way that you do your practice?
Absolutely. We use the latest in electronic medical records, a platform called Epic, and it absolutely reminds us, like even when patients have forgotten their mammograms, or we haven't done their vaccinations, or the latest labs that need to be done. So it's actually improving the care we provide because there's so many issues. Medicine's advancing so fast, and there's so much that needs to be done. So these electronic medical records are reminding us, hey, go back and do this. Go back. Sometimes we'll go down one rabbit hole for COVID or something. Then we forget about the patient's blood pressure or their sugar, and we need to go back and revisit that. And these programs will remind us of that, and so we can set up follow-ups and address those issues.
Yeah. Well, I think one caveat to all of this is that technology, to answer your question about what technologies are helping with health and helping us be fit, there's a lot of tools, wearables and sensors that can detect falls and that can monitor glucose and that can take our blood pressure and can allow new data to be collected. But I also think that there's kind of a risk associated with, in my case, my mother Googles everything, and then every time she has some bump on her arm, she's fairly confident this very rare disease that she found on Google, and that can be a little bit dangerous. So I do think the question about technology, Ted, is that we want to use it in ways that help us, not hurt us, and to use good sources of information, and to use those technologies and those sources of information in conjunction with your healthcare providers, because I'm a doctor, but not the kind that actually sees patients. And so sometimes I think I can diagnose myself, but I really need a trained clinician to help me understand what's happening in my body and in my life related to health.
Well, thank you very much. That was very informative. Everyone, you're welcome to stay with us for our next featured speaker, Adam Turinas, CEO and founder of the Health LaunchPad, a community created for health tech sales and marketing executives. Following Adam's comments, we will open it up to rapid fire questions. Good morning, Adam.
Hey, hi, how are you doing, Ted?
Doing good.
Oh, nice to see you too, Karina.
I'll be here to ask the questions, but if you'd love to give us a little bit of background from you, Adam.
Sure. I've got a little PowerPoint. Can we get that up on the screen?
Are you able to share your screen?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hold on.
Yes, thank you.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, boy. You know what? This is going to take a while, and so I think I'll just sort of go into it. Let me just sort of give an intro to give you an overview about myself. So, I'm a health tech entrepreneur, and I've been doing that for basically the last 10 years. Prior to that, I spent about 20 years in marketing. So I actually worked for advertising agencies like Ogilvy and Mather and lots of digital agencies. And towards the end of my agency career, I was running an agency division in New York. I was working with clients like Bank of America and doing fantastic, digital campaigns globally. And so I really cut my teeth in marketing. But I've always had an entrepreneurial itch, and I scratched a little bit back in the sort of .com days, and unsatisfactory. I did a couple of startups, and one was a complete failure. I walked away with it. I walked away from it after about 9 months, and then I started a little consulting business, and kind of just agreed with my partners, and I had a different vision about where we wanted to go, and I just decided it wasn't for me. So I walked away from that. So I actually had 2 startups back in the sort of 2000s that I just walked away from. Couldn't get traction with them, couldn't really get them to scale. Anyway, then I went back into gainful employment. And in about 2012, I was doing some consulting. So I started a little consulting firm with a friend of mine, and we were doing strategic consulting. And another friend of mine called Stu, who's a doctor, said, I think this sort of strategic consulting thing you do is going to be really relevant to healthcare. And so we sort of teamed up together, and we went off and pitched this to some hospitals. And so we started doing work consulting with some hospitals up in New Jersey. And after about 6 months, we thought, feels like there's a technology solution here that we need to do. So we asked ourselves the question, is there an app for this? And we started brainstorming and coming up with the idea. And we turned that into a PowerPoint, and then we pitched that PowerPoint to some of our clients. And one of our clients, who was then the CEO of Jersey City Medical Center, said, you build that, I'll buy it. And that's how I started a health tech company back in 2012, because that lit the fuse. So we went off, we hired some developers, put our own money into it, and developed to an MVP, a minimum viable product. And so by the end of 2012, we were able to pilot that with a group of physicians at Jersey City Medical Center, and they loved it. They absolutely loved the technology. So we thought we got something here. And so we just thought, right, we're just going to go for it. And so we, kind of gave up our day jobs over the course of a year and raised a little bit of money, and sort of went through the grind of getting, additional healthcare customers, which is really tough. Healthcare is, I think, the hardest, it's the hardest industry I've ever been in. For all sorts of reasons, which we can go through in the questions. But anyway, so we grew that company, raised some more money. We actually merged another company into the company, and exited in 2019. We sold the company to Harris Healthcare in 2019. And I then relocated for lifestyle reasons, moved down here to Austin. So I love being in Texas, back in Texas in my case. I actually started I'm from the UK, if you can tell, but when I first moved here, we lived in Houston. Anyway, so this year I started a new business called Health LaunchPad. And, it's basically a business with a mission. And the mission of the business is basically to help people sort of overcome the problems that I have, which is understanding what it takes to sell and market to healthcare. And what we do is 3 things. We help, first of all, we help people connect. So we have a networking group. We help people connect people with each other, and we run workshops and webinars to do that. We also want to help people learn. And so, we do a lot of education. So educational content, webinars. I've got a whole series starting next year on account-based marketing. And then, Grow is our consulting business. So I work with companies either entering the healthcare market or companies that are in the healthcare market improve their marketing. And I've started this thing back in just sort of as when COVID started, and it's going pretty well. So and I think I kind of feel that through all my entrepreneurial journey, everything led up to this moment, and I sort of feel better ready to do this thing than any of the other ones. So we only have about 10 minutes, but I wanted to why don't we take the screen off now? Thanks, Karina and Jenny, let's. What questions do you have? What can I answer for you? Yeah, ask me anything. Healthcare, entrepreneurial, raising money, who my favorite soccer team is, whatever you're interested in. I'm here.
Thank you so much for taking us through that journey. And yeah, I understand. It seems like everything kind of compiles and moves into the next phase, especially when you're a serial entrepreneur. With that, why don't we talk about co-founders, right? You kind of touched a little bit about a company that you had. One of the questions was, hey, I have a business and I've been doing it on my own, which is a solopreneur, and they want to know when or if they should have a co-founder.
It's a really great question. This is the first business I've actually started without a co-founder. And I've actually, all the other businesses I had co-founders, and I really needed them. And I needed them to, frankly, make up for, gaps in my own abilities, like, gaps. I had no experience in healthcare. So when I started Health Launch, when I started what became Unify Health, I started it with a physician because he was a subject matter expert and also had relationships. I also needed a technology. I can't code. So I needed a partner who would actually develop the code. So that was, I needed that then. But the downside of partners is that you compromise. Because there may be a direction which you think is the right direction, and you've got to get alignment. And if you can't convince your partners that what the direction you want to go is the right way, then you're going to go the way that they want to go. And in some cases, I've regretted that. And so that was a challenge for me. And so actually, when I started this business, I decided, I love the partners I work with, I'm friends with them. But I wanted sort of control. So in this case, I've decided I actually designed the business. So I'd never actually have to take on a partner full time unless I really wanted to. I didn't want to be in a situation where I'd need to. So I also mentor a lot of startups. I didn't mention this. I mentor at the Capital Factory, I mentor at Texas Medical Center, and also Del Med. And I work with a number of partners, and I've seen entrepreneurs go through this, and I think that you at some point you're going to have to give up something. You're going to have to give up some control or equity to bring somebody on. But I will tell you though, if you look at some of the most successful businesses, it's a mix, right? So you look at Facebook. Facebook is all about Zuckerberg, right? But you look at Google, it's about Larry and Sergey. So that's a partnership. So sometimes they work. Sometimes it's like, you're a maniac with a mission, and you don't want anything to get in the way. And so it's a tough decision. Should we take another question?
Yes, that was actually a great segue into the question that we have in the comments. That question is it complicated to work within the healthcare industry due to regulations? I think that actually could talk and touch on, government contracts and, historically underrepresented businesses.
So I can really talk most about healthcare, and I'll tell you, yes, it's complicated. But there's a sort of good news, bad news actually, because frankly, where there's regulation, there's opportunity, because regulations force the organizations to have to change and do something differently. So, in the case of healthcare, there's a ton of different regulations. I mean, and it sort of depends where you're going into. In the case of my own business, we were selling a secure communications product. And so the regulation that we were dealing with was HIPAA. So we just needed to understand it. And fortunately, my partner, who's a physician, was also actually formerly an attorney as well. He was a polymath, amazing guy. And he was also very familiar with HIPAA. And so that sort of helped speed up the process. And the thing that was actually positive for us about HIPAA is it sort of raised the barrier a bit and made it harder for certain people to actually get into the market, because it was a hurdle to get over. So the other thing that's good about about regulations is that, particularly in healthcare, is that quite often the regulations guide the money flow. So in healthcare, the money flow, actually a lot of it comes out of the government through Medicare and Medicaid, which is the sort of government-backed insurance plans. And so there's a whole series of regulations for the way that money flows out of the government. So if you can kind of understand the flow of the money, you can figure out where the inefficiencies are and where the opportunities are. So yeah, it does make, regulations make things hard. And what I'm talking about with healthcare is it doesn't matter what industry, like Sarbanes-Oxley, that's sort of a broad sort of commercial issue. With government regulations and government contracts, there are all kinds of laws and regulations that you need to follow. It's like you got to think about where are the opportunities in the regulations, and you just got to do the hard work to get yourself familiar with it. And if you do, that's where you'll start to see opportunities that other people aren't seeing.
I love that. You definitely have your entrepreneurial lenses on, because that's all about entrepreneurship. It's finding those opportunities within, gaps and things that other people wouldn't recognize.
So the next, I see another question which says, what are the key components to becoming a consultant?
Perfect. Thank you, Max.
So yeah, thanks, Max. So there's a number of things. First of all, you got to think about it sort of two things. It's like, what is it that you're selling and how is it you're going to sell it? So in terms of what is it that you're selling expertise, right? So if you're going to become a consultant, you need to be, credible in something. So when I actually started this consulting business, I actually started with a much broader scope. I was going to be business to business sales and marketing. And then I realized, well, actually, no, my specialty is healthcare. So I just went, no, I'm going to go healthcare. And actually, when it's for healthcare, it's like, well, that's pretty broad too, because I'm actually not helping healthcare hospital marketers. I'm helping people selling to healthcare. So I narrowed it further. So that's my expertise. So that's the expertise I'm selling. In terms of how you sell it, it's partly it's relationships. So, I've got a good network, and I then have developed a really systematic process using LinkedIn and content to raise my authority and to generate new leads. So you've got to kind of get the two parts ready, the sort of the expertise part of it and then the process part of it. I think we've got time for one more question. I got to run at the top of the hour. Is what's your advice for a solopreneur hoping to grow and scale their business? God, I mean, that's such a sort of, Claudia, it's sort of, kind of depends on where you're at. The hardest thing is, so you'll get two conflicting pieces of advice. One is stick at it, be relentless, stay true to your mission. Doesn't matter what anybody says to you, you stick at it. So that's one piece of advice. The other piece of advice is you've only got one life as far as we know. So at some point you might have to cut bait, and you might actually have to decide this is not for me anymore. And that's the really hard thing to decide. And so my advice to you is to figure out who your truth tellers are. Who is it that's actually, everybody's going to give you advice because it's so, most people have not been in your shoes, but everybody feels like they've got the right to tell you what you can do. So you've got to figure out who your truth tellers are, who are the people who actually legitimately you want to listen to, and that's the hard thing to figure out. Do we have one more question, and then I got to drop?
We had one that was actually very similar to the last one that was asked. So thank you so much, Adam. It looks like everyone was very excited, anticipating the rapid fire, and that definitely was a rapid fire question. So
well, great. It's been a real pleasure. And good luck with the rest of Global Entrepreneurship Week. I really feel privileged to have been included. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Adam.
Bye.
Thank you, Adam. I would like to acknowledge the planners and sponsoring partners for the San Marcos Global Entrepreneurship Week program. Chairing the effort is Ms. Karina Boston Pinellas of Splash Co-working, Claudette Blythe, founder of Modern Tribes Events and chair with the Dunbar Heritage Association, Sean Ball, founder of SemPulse, new venture entrepreneur in residence at Texas State University Star Park, the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Texas State University, and Barbara Thomason, Director of Workforce Development, Business Retention and Expansion at the Greater San Marcos Partnership, the Regional Economic Development Organization for Hays and Caldwell counties. Also, thank you for today's program sponsors, Baylor Scott White with clinics and hospitals across the great state of Texas, and thanks to the Translational Health Research Initiative at Texas State University. Currently, we have a unique way to allow you to interact and create connections we call chat roulette. It is a way that we pair up attendees, then scramble up again so that you get to meet as many people virtually as possible in the allotted time. We will scramble for about 15 minutes, then transition to vendor booths, which is a virtual platform, is not to be missed. So, ready, set, go. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, the chat roulette gave you a good format and opportunity to connect and network. Also, feel free to visit our vendor and entrepreneur booths for good information and virtual giveaways from noon until 2 today. Stay tuned to take in the Capital Factory Texas Roadshow. Be sure you have collected your scavenger hunt items for today. Note that we are promoting this week's Black Business Expo, that is a virtual event on the same link Thursday and Friday, 12 to 2 p.m., and Saturday as a hybrid event at the LBJ Library, 10 to 2. I'm going to sign off and let you interact at your own pace. At noon, you are invited to join Capital Factory's Roadshow with personalities such as Mark Cuban. Please be sure to log in with us tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. to view a special video presentation by Ryan Wakeham on coping with WFH, working from home during the pandemic. Then at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, we get mentally fit and explore mental wellness. Another big thank you to our sponsors, our speakers, and to you, our participants. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a good day.